The next point is HDLC, that is high level data link control. High level data link control. What is high level data link control? This high level data link control is mainly operated on the layer 2, that is data link layer. It is operated on layer 2, that is data link layer. It is this high level data link control or high level data link layer. It is going to have a group of communication protocols. It is going to have a group of communication protocols, and this communication protocols is happening between the two nodes or multiple nodes, from one node to multiple nodes, from one node to other nodes. Okay. And this high level data link control is mainly operated from point to point communication or point to multi-point communication. It is mainly operated on point to point communication and point to multi-point communications. And it is going to check whether the data has been successfully arrived at the destination or not. It is going to check whether the data has been arrived at the particular destination or not. That has to be going to consider in this particular data link, high level data link control. Keep in mind that is, we are going to have the point to point communication and point to multi-point communication. And the main performance and the main operation of this high level data link control is to verify the successful arrival of the particular frame at the destination. That has to be considered over HDLC. In this HDLC, we are going to have some of the transfer nodes. Transfer nodes is nothing but what? You are transmitting the particular data frames. We are transferring the particular data frames. How we are going to transferring the particular data frames? We are having some of the modes. One is a normal response mode. Second is asynchronous balance mode. What is normal response mode? In a commonly we are using we are sending the frame. We are sending the frame between the two stations. The station 1 is of primary station and the station 2 is of secondary station. What is station? Primary is called as a source. Secondary is called as a destination. Primary is called as a source and secondary is called as a destination. Within these two stations, we are sending the frame. Once you are sending the frame, or once you are sending the data, once you are sending the commands, at that time, when the frame, data or command has been transferring and those commands has been registered at the particular destination station, that is of secondary station. Once that command has been received and that secondary station has to send the response. Response is nothing but what? Acknowledgement. You came to know that the response is nothing but what? Acknowledgement. This process has been happened for point to point communication and for the multi-point communications. Point to point is nothing but from one end to another end. Only one-way communication is going on. Only one-way communication is going on, that is point to point. Multiple simultaneous communication, that is point to multi-points. So you are sending the multiple frames, you are sending the multiple commands, we are sending the multiple data. Okay, you have to reach those, the same command, the same frame, the same data to the multiple stations. Multiple stations is nothing but multiple number of computers. Multiple number of computers means what? One message has been broadcast to multiple number of computers. One message has been broadcast to multiple number of computers, that is called as a multi-point communications. For only one communication, that is point to point. One computer to the another computer, that is called as a point to point communication. From one computer to multiple number of computers, that is multi-point communication. This is going to happen in this normal response mode. Normal response mode is mainly operated on the primary stations and the secondary stations. Primary stations is only the main server. The primary station is operated on the server, and the remaining secondary stations is operated on substations. The secondary station is operated on substations. Substations are nothing but many number of computers has been connected to the main server. Means what? You are giving the aptitude by sitting at one computer. The same questions has been appear that is going to see by multiple number of students. That is what in a particular computer individual can see that particular data. That is what the main server has been broadcast that particular data to many number of computers so that everyone can access that particular data. That is going to happen in this normal response mode. This normal response mode has been operated on point-to-point communication and point-to-multipoint communication. Second type is asynchronous balance mode. Asynchronous balance mode is nothing but what? It is operated on both the sides. It is sending frame with responses, and it is primary station is also sending with frame with responses. Both the stations you are going to see over here, the diagram. Command with respect to the responses means what? It is sending command, it is received, and a response has been sent. It is sending the command. The station 2 is sending the primary, secondary station is sending the command. It has been received and it is going to send the responses. This is what asynchronous balance mode. The configuration has been balanced. That is, each station can both send the commands and responses to the commands. It is used for only point-to-point communication. Asynchronous balance mode can be operated on only for point-to-point communication. It is not operated on multi-point communication. Point-to-point is nothing but only one station, and destination side also only one computer. For a source, only one computer, and for the destination, only one computer. These two will be acting, sending the command from station 1 to station 2. The command has been received, and this is going to send the response from station 2 to station 1 with the command. That is what asynchronous balance mode. Next is SDLC frame. How this SDLC frame is going to look? This SDLC frame is consist of flag, address, control, payload, FCS or CRC we can say, or flag. These two flags we'll see one by one. The flags which are present at the start and end of the every frame. These two has been present at the start and end of the every frame. So see here, you are seeing the bytes. You are seeing the bits here. 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Start of the bit, the start of the frame, that is we are using 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. The same bits has been received at the receiver end. 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. To carry the same bits, you have to use a proper channel. Address. Flag is nothing but which is present at the start and end of the every frame, which is going to give the alert, to the next bits, the next blocks. I am sending the particular bits, I am sending the particular byte. So be ready to receive those particular bytes. In this source address consists of source and destination address, that is of 1 byte. The control, we are going to have an error control detection codes. That is, we are going to control the particular bits which is sending from the initial of this frame. And this payload is consist of the data. The payload is consist of data. This data should be a fixed data or variable. The data should be the fixed or variable. The data should be fixed or variable. What is the difference between fixed and variable? Fixed is nothing but you are sending 100 byte of data. You are sending 100 byte of data. That is fixed. You have to send 100 bytes of data. Variable is nothing but in this 100 bytes of data, we are going to divide it into 5 types of 20 bytes. 20 byte, 20 byte, 20 byte, 20 byte, and 20 byte. That is can be divided into fine numbers. So that is what variable. We are sending the variable data over here. And in this, we are going to check the CRC, cyclic redundancy check. Whatever the data has been received, that data has been received without any error or not. Without any error or not. If there is no error, whatever the bits have been sending from this flag, the same bits has been received at the receiver end. The same thing has been written in this. The same points has been written over here. So flag, it is a 8-bit which is present at the beginning and end of the every frame, which is present at the beginning and end of the every frame. What is the meaning of address? This address is consist of the source address or the destination address. Source address or the destination address. We can also call it as a primary station and the secondary station. Several bytes we are going to send. That has to be decided by this address. Control bits, it is 1 or 2 bytes containing flow, air, and air control. That should be match. That should be match between the sender and the receiver. Flow control has to be match between the sender and the receiver. If the flow control is more, if the speed is more by the sender, if the speed is less by the receiver, so there should be a loss in the particular data. That is going to hamper the particular loss in the particular data. That has to be controlled by this control panel. Payload, what is the actual function of payload? It is to carry the particular data. If it is variable or fixed, it is variable or fixed, that is to be depending on the payload. How much data we have to carry. We want to carry the fixed data or we want to carry the variable data. That has to be decided by this payload. FCS, that is going to check by cyclic redundancy check. If there is an error, you have to make it correct it, and you have to detect it, and you have to make it correct. If there is no error, immediately we can send to the particular receiver side. So this is what a concept of SDLC, that is high data link control. Some of the frames we are using in this SDLC, that is high level data link control. One is I frame, second is S frame, and third one is U frame. This I frame is called as an information frame. S frame is called as a supervisory frame. U frame is called as a unnumbered frames. What is this? The main function of this I frame is information. We are going to carry the information without any error. That is to be 0. We are going to assign this I frame as 0. For supervisory frames, we are going to use as a F frame, that is of 1 0. We are using that is a bit as 1 0. No information field has been contained in this S frame. And the last is U frame, that is unnumbered frame or a U frame, that is going to get the 2 bits, that is of 1 and 1, that is of 1 1. So these are the frames we are using in SDLC, that is high level data link control. One is I frame, second one is S frame, and last one is U frame. Okay, this is SDLC frames. Okay, the last bit, the last protocol of this unit, that is of spanning tree protocol. Spanning tree protocol. What is the meaning of this spanning tree protocol? The main usage of this spanning tree protocol is nothing but what? You have to complete the particular loop. You have to see the particular loop over there. Okay, if it is not make it complete, you have to make it complete by using the redundant bits. You have to use the redundant bits. What is the redundant links? What is the meaning of this redundant link? See, you are seeing the diagram over here, that is complete graph. What is the main usage of this spanning tree protocol is nothing but you have to improve the overall performance of the network. The main usage, the main function of this protocol is to monitor the overall performance of the network. How you are going to monitor the overall performance of the network? So that is going to perform, that is going to become a complete loop. You are going to see over here, that is, you are seeing the diagram over here, that is A, B, C. You're seeing the complete loop. From A to B there is a connection, the B to C there is a connection, and B to C to A there is a connection. It becomes a complete loop. It becomes a complete loop. You have to get this type of complete loops, then and then only whatever the data, whatever the frame is there, that has to be sent in a complete loop itself. If there should not be, the link has been disconnected in between, any one of the link, you can connect from A to B. If this link has been disconnected, if this link has been damaged in between, so this spanning tree protocol function is to add the alternative link, that is called as a redundant link. It is called as a redundant link. It is what? Alternate. Adjustment के लिए रखा होगा ये. Redundant link can be used for a alternate link once this link has been damaged. If it is link has been damaged, we can use the one more link that is called as a redundant link. This is not a compulsory link we can use for this to make a complete loop. Once this link become active, once this link has been maintained, this link has been active, immediately the algorithm, by using the spanning tree algorithm, you have to remove this redundant link immediately. This redundant link has been removed immediately. Okay, so that has been written over here. Spanning tree protocol is also known as spanning tree protocol. It maintains, it monitors the overall performance of the network. Overall performance of the network is nothing but, we can call this as a switch, particular switch. This is the root bridge. Here it is connected from A. There will be a root bridge. So there is a main server has been connected. This server is connected to the B, and B is connected to C, and C is connected to A. For example, between B and C, the link has been damaged due to some problem. From B to C, the link will be disconnected or damaged. So what they can do, it is not going to form a complete loop. It is not going to form a complete loop over here. This link has been damaged. There is a no link over here. So if it is damaged, till the maintenance has been taken care, we have to use this redundant links. These are not permanent links. These are the supportive links. We can say that these are the supportive links. We can use as a redundantness. We can attach from B to C the redundant link, so we can make it a complete loop. Once this loop will become active, immediately whatever the redundant link has been connected from B to C, that has been removed immediately. That is the process is going on in this spanning tree protocol. Okay, the spanning tree algorithm maintains the topology database that is used to find the redundant links, where the redundant links has been connected. Okay, if the redundant link is found, then the link gets disabled. Once the redundant links are removed, then and only those links will remain active, which are chosen by the spanning tree algorithm. So if the new link is added or some existing link is removed, the spanning tree algorithm will be re-executed to adjust the changes. If the link has been disconnected, if the link has been damaged in between, so the main function of this spanning tree algorithm has to re-execute that particular link, and that link has been adjusted with that particular loop, with that particular graph. If this link has been damaged, you are going to use the new link between the B and C. If the newcomer is there, it doesn't know anything that what is going on in this, like the actual procedure. So it has to be managed. It has to be give a training for this. This is what we have to do, the particular function in this particular graph that has to be adjust to particular changes. You have to make the complete loop. That is the main operation. That is the main motto of this spanning tree protocol. If you're not going to make a complete loop, we can't send any frame to the particular stations. A complete graph is a graph in which line connects each pair of vertices. In other words, we can say that all the points are connected by a maximum number of lines. Maximum number of lines, that is from A to B, B to C, and C to A. In computer networking, the complete graph can also be said as fully matched network. A complete graph can also be said as fully meshed network. So if you are having the 3 points, that is from A, B, and C, A, B, and C, these 3 lines are connected, these 3 points, a line connects every 2 points, will get a complete graph. If you want to become a complete graph, any 2 lines will be connected if it is connected from A to B or if it is connected from A to C. This link will be common. You have to connect from B to A or B to C. If you connect from C to A or C to B, this will be, you have to connect it to become a complete graph. To become a complete graph, that is, you are written here 3 points A, B, C, 3 lines connect these 3 points. The line connects every 2 points and will get a complete graph and will get a complete graph. This is what the main motto of this spanning tree protocol. So this is a diagram, the 3 diagrams. This spanning tree is not going to become a full graph over here. It is not becoming a full graph. Why? Because why? See here, there is no link has been connected over here from B to C. From A to B is connected, C to A to C is connected. The central point is A, red. It has been coloring as red. A to B, A to C. Is it become a complete loop? No, there is no connection between B and C. Here the central point is, the central station is B. B is connected to A and B is connected to C. And A and C, there will not be any connection. There is not be any connectivity. So the central point is B and A and C is indirectly connected. Okay. And central point is C. Central point is C. C is connected to A and C is connected to B. There is not connection between, there will not be any connection between A and B. Is it become a complete loop? So same thing has been written. The C is the central point. Remaining 2 points are the connectivity. That is a just for the connection purpose we are connected, indirectly connected. That is, A is directly connected to B and C. B and C are indirectly connected through A. Okay. A is the central point. All the points are connected without any information of the loop. It has not become a loop over here. It is not become a loop. If you connect from B to C, it becomes a loop. If you connect from A to C, it becomes a loop. If you connect from A to B, it becomes a complete loop. So there is no connectivity as there, so it does not become any complete loop. It is not become a complete loop. Same thing has been written. B is directly connected to A and C, while A and C is connected through B. Okay. B is a central point. All the remaining points are indirectly connected. C is directly connected to both A and B, and A and B are connected through C. A and B connected, indirectly connected through C. So C is a central point. Remaining are connected without the information of the loop. And which are the ports we are using for the spanning tree protocols is a root port. Root port is to make a complete loop with the lowest path. One is root port, second is designated port, blocking port, backup port, alternate port. Port is nothing but a link. Port is nothing but what? A link. A root port is a port that has the lowest cost path to the root page. We can call it as, this one as a root bridge. A is called as a root bridge. A is called as a root bridge. So this is going to create a one complete loop. This is going to create a one complete route. We are considering A as a root bridge. If you consider B as a root bridge, that is going to control complete, make it a complete route. That is a loop. C is a root bridge. We can make it a complete loop from A to B. Same thing is written here. It has to make the lowest cost path to the root bridge. What is a designated port? Designated is nothing but it has to forward the particular data. It has to forward the particular traffic, data or frame or data, everything that has to be from the root bridge. We are considering that is a A as a root bridge. This A is having a particular frame. This A is having a particular data. This data has been reached to B and B from C and C to again A. This is what going to happen in this designated port. Blocking port. Blocking is nothing but due to damaged block has been happened. Blocking port is a port that receives the frame, but neither it has to forward nor to send. It drops the received frames. Block ho gaya wo, the port has been blocked, that has been damaged. So it just receives, but is not going to send, neither send, and it simply drops from the received frames. The backup. If it is there, we are having a backup port that is called as a redundant port. The backup port is a port that provides the backup path in the spanning tree if the designated port fails. This is the designated forms is fails. This port get active immediately when the designated port is fails. We are having a backup port with the designated. We are having backup port with the designated port. If this is damaged, immediately we are having the one more port, that is backup port. Last one is alternate port. Alternate port, that is a port that provides the alternate path to the root bridge if the root bridge fails. Alternate path is nothing but what? We are having A as a root bridge. So root bridge can be changed from A to B also. Root bridge can be changed from B to C also. So this is what we have seen in spanning tree protocol. Spanning tree protocol. In this spanning tree protocol, we are using the sum of the ports, that is of root port, designated port, and blocking port, backup port, and alternate port. These are the 6 protocols we have seen in collision detection and collision avoidance. One is Aloha. Which one? Aloha. Second which one? CSMA. These are the 6 points we have seen. That is Aloha we have seen. Carrier sense multiple access we have seen. Carrier sense multiple access with collision detection. Carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. High level data link control and spanning tree protocol control. These are all the 6 protocols with respect to the collision oriented and collision detection. And this is the last part of this unit. Thank you.